On the ballot tonight, candidates sign peace accord in Abuja ahead of Saturday's polls. Political parties engage in last-minute pitch for voters as campaigns enter final day. Thumb, index, middle or little finger, which is the finger of choice for the polls? A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Ballot NTA's comprehensive pre-election program. My name is Fisayo Ogunfuyi. The elections are here. Well, more or less 2 more nights of anticipation for the voter and 2 more sleepless nights for some contestants. The candidates will be hoping their CVs have convinced Nigerians to use their PVCs favorably. As the seconds tick, a second peace accord was today signed by the major contenders to underline their commitment to a hitch-free process. This development will no doubt ease the tension which had been building in the past week in spite of the first peace accord which was signed a while ago. Supporters, voters and every other stakeholder will see this as a step in the right direction and a testament to Nigeria's resolve to nurture and protect its democracy. We will be discussing the issues arising from the agreement with some guests in the studio. Now, the imperatives for peace is at the core of a successful electoral process. Today, we saw a significant step towards this objective with another peace agreement signed. I have with me in the House Kabiru Shitu, is the presidential candidate, should I say the presidential candidate, or was the presidential candidate of the Advanced People's Democratic Alliance, live in the studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we also have Dr. Obadiah Milafia of the African Democratic Congress. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Fisayo.
You both signed the peace accord this afternoon. And that should perhaps percolate to the supporters that we want a hitch-free exercise. Let me start with Dr. Milafia.
Yes, indeed. It was a grand occasion, the second signing of the peace accord. It was a national event that was watched by the international community. It is a pledge and a commitment that all of us should observe the virtues of peace and civility and tolerance during the elections, avoiding the use of hate speech and avoiding also anything that will disturb the public peace. We want a peaceful election in a democratic culture, and that is what we committed ourselves to doing today in the full glare of international community.
Have you been preaching this gospel as well, of peace?
Yes. Without peace, we can't be here. And the country will be there after election. So you need peace to move the country.
Were you able to interact with fellow candidates, looking just one more day for campaigns? After that, a bit of lull, a day of yes, reflection,
yes,
and then we go into the elections.
You see, for us, we believe that 2 days to now, the election will be conducted, and we believe that electorate must choose wisely, and electorate must first of all put the Nigerian first before even party or the candidate they want to vote for.
Now you have sweated, you've gone around the country, you have signed the peace accord. All of a sudden, you threw in the towel.
These are the practice in the developed democracy. If you go to US, I want to give an example of when Obama was failing, and the Tea parties have to come to rescue the canvass and then make sure that they get canvass vote for Obama for his second term. So Tea Party played that role. And the same role we believe as Advanced People Democratic Alliance we should also play, because we have seen that we share the same vision and mission, and we share the same ideology with the person of President Muhammad Buhari, and therefore we feel now that it's already going on with those what we want to do, we believe we can do, and we believe that he could do it now easier for him than for us.
Has this been communicated to your supporters?
Definitely, before and even after that we have been talking. Before we do that, we've called our meeting. In fact, for the past 3 months, I've been under pressure from my National Executive Committee that we should. I said, no, let us canvass, let us see, because we share similar ideology with Mr. President, and we are ready to also make sure that all our members, our team members, every of our members vote wisely, and to vote wisely is to vote for President Muhammad.
Dr. Milafia, you have gone around, you've spoken to supporters ahead of these elections.
Yes.
How has the feedback been? You've inked a bit of your campaigns on the economy, revamping it and all that, but how has the feedback been across the country?
I think the feedback has been tremendous, especially among young people. Young people are very dissatisfied with the way Nigeria is. We have literally mortgaged their future. There is no peace in this country. There's so much violence. We have become the kidnap capital of the world. There is hunger. There is unemployment. There is despair everywhere. Our message has resonated with a lot of the youth. We want to restore hope. We want to restore peace. We want to restore harmony in this country. We have expertise on the economy. That is my greatest passion. I want to rebuild the economy of this country in order to create a higher level of productivity that will generate millions of jobs. And I know, as I'm sure Fisayo, you know, that without peace, you can achieve nothing.
All right,
so we want to build that on the foundation of a genuine peace in this country.
All right, let's look at the logistics of it. Has it been tasking in terms of being able to pass your message across? Because we understand the elections go up a lot of money. Yes. Has that been a challenge?
Oh, it's been a very big challenge. And I've always told whoever cares to hear, when they hear that I worked in CBN, they think that I stole a bag of money and I hid it somewhere with which I can be bribing people and so on. And I thank God I did not steal $1 or £1 throughout my time in CBN, and I'm very proud of that. Because of that, it's been a challenge, to be able to do the logistics. But I know that at the end of the day, it is about who you are as a person and what you stand for. I stand for moral principle. I stand for patriotism. And I stand for commitment for social justice and for solidarity. So the youths have understood my message and it has resonated deeply with them.
Thank you, Doctor. Before I let you go, what would be your word to especially young voters? We've seen some previously being burned, all that, and it has raised some worries. What would be your word to youths and voters on election day?
For us, they should be confident of themselves. They should believe that they are serving the country by voting wisely. And I'll just give you an example of what happened before I get here in Kano. As I'm talking to you now, there's jubilation because Mohamed Abacha, who is going to be the candidate of APDA governorship, was finding it difficult between which line to throw me off, and immediately announced to them that they saw the announcement that APDA has supported President. It was jubilation.
All right.
And that is to tell you the level how people love President Muhammad Buhari, and for him to continue with the good work he's doing for the
Thank you very much for coming on the show. That's the much we can take. We've had in the studio Dr. Milafia, Obadiah Milafia, and of course Mr. Kabiru Shitu on the program. The ballot will continue in a moment. And I say your finger is the most important part of your body on Saturday. The thumb used to be the magic finger, but is it still the case? Let's find out exactly which finger will be allowed for voting.
The finger that I always use in voting elections and even come 2019 elections is this finger.
The index finger.
This one. You know, most of the elections, we use this one, you understand, for thumb printing. But because of, you know how many political parties are on the ballot now, you understand? So the ballot will now be smaller. So it's advisable, you know, now to now use this one now.
So it is preferable for you to use this finger. This is smaller in nature.
Any of the 10 fingers that was captured during the biometrics testing, any of those can be used, but we should make sure that any of the particular allotted boxes for each party, we don't let our fingers cross over to the next. If not, it may disqualify our votes.
Said in these elections all fingers are equal, that is, any finger will suffice. INEC having captured all the fingers in the biometric registration of eligible voters. In our next segment, we'll talk to two voices from the two big camps. Let me start from my far right. Prince Kazim Afebwa is of the PDP. Welcome to the ballot.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And I have Mr. Ayo Oyalowo of the APC. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
The peace accord has been signed today. Is the peace percolating to both camps? Let me start with Mr. Ayo.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to be worried. President Buhari has assured Nigerians that he wants a peaceful election and he wants all votes to count. So for us in the APC, we are confident of victory, therefore we want peace because we believe we can enjoy our mandate when everybody is at peace. So for us, it has percolated to our supporters down to the grassroots that all we want is vote and not fight.
Prince, what's the mood in camp?
Well, it's pleasant, it's good for democracy that the main contenders and other presidential candidates have endorsed the second peace accord. Don't forget that we had one previously, and even when we realized that there was one existing previously, there were still some hate speeches here and there. We hope that 2-3 days to election, this particular one will be the icing on the cake. We expect a peaceful conduct. This is our country. It's a common denominator to all of us. We expect our members to behave, in a very peaceful manner. We also believe and hope that the security agencies will behave in a very peaceful manner. They will behave professionally, without inhibitions, without let or hindrance, so that in the final analysis, whatever becomes the outcome of the elections will be endorsed by all participants, all contestants, and those who have participated in the process.
Mr. Ayo, what role does the party play in keeping a tight leash on vociferous supporters who might at one point be playing to the gallery or perhaps physically wanting to influence things on election day? How can the party keep a leash on this?
The role is simple. Just keep telling your people what is right. I saw my friend watching a video, which most of us have seen today, of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu telling people that, look, this is the only country you have, and there's no other place you want to go to. And for me, that is the kind of message leaders should be giving out, that vote, guide your vote, but don't fight. Because like he said, like all of us have said, on the long and on the long run, in the final analysis, we have only one country. If we destroy this country because of election, the election will come and go. The country must remain. And like we all know, Nigeria is bigger than whatever we are doing. After 16th of February, we want to have a country. And the way we can have a country is to keep telling our people, telling our supporters, look, vote, guide your vote, but don't fight. And for me, the party has been doing this, and that is the biggest role the party can play. Advise the people that support us and our people, so that everybody knows that our role is to thumb our ballot, guide it, but don't go there and make any trouble.
Prince, looking at reactions across the country, even in terms of your exchange with prospective supporters, canvassing for votes, undecided voters and all that, in the Fourth Republic, the 2019 elections, the pre-election dance, can you say that the country is maturing politically?
Well, maturing to an extent. We are hoping that political leaders will temper their utterances in the way and manner they discuss with the electorates and their supporters. It is not what to say in public, because if you look at these campaigns, there have been, one or two instances where we do not expect to hear the kind of utterances from political leaders. And if you so much cherish the country, as one country that you want to see peace and development, then the expectation is for you to give out messages that will be reassuring, that will, cushion the effect of whatever economic situation we find ourselves. We have been campaigning, we've been telling our people that they have to maintain peace, they have to conduct themselves within the best civilized conduct. We have also been appealing as a opposition party to the ruling party that they should also apply the minimum standard in ensuring that everybody who comes into this process, is seen to be, is seen to be approaching the process on a level playing field. Because if you don't do that, chances are that people may just, may just be provoked and do certain things.
All right, let me come to you. I don't know you, but you look like a youth like me, and I'm a bit, I asked this question yesterday. There's been the law too young to rule and all that. But when we talk about the sheer size of youths and what role they can play in this election, there are a lot of the candidates that are of youthful age are still being seen as outsiders. Why the challenge?
Well, I think in most developed democracy, there are always the major parties. If you look at the United Kingdom, for instance, you have the Labour and the Conservative. If you look at the United States of America, you have the Democrat and the Republican. So I think gradually Nigeria, we currently have two main parties, the APC and the PDP, and I think you always have the smaller parties, like in quotes, but on the long run, people will need to know where they belong. I joined the APC for so many reasons. And I think some people that joined the PDP knows why they did that too. But I think some of the outside parties are fresh. So people will look at them as outsider because you will need a lot of time to be able to sell your programs. I mean, Nigeria is a huge country with about 36 states, with 774 local governments. So you will need a lot of effort to push across. So I think they have not done enough to go around. That is why you have the APC and PDP dominating discussions in this election.
Prince, let me ask you this. Tomorrow, campaigns will end. On Friday, is it time for prayers?
We have been praying. Friday is not just choosing for prayers for those who are Muslims. We have been praying on a regular basis, on a daily basis. We have been praying that we should get the right leadership. We at the PDP, we have campaigned vigorously. We are ending our campaigns tomorrow in Adamawa. And we are hoping that on come Saturday, Nigerians in their millions will vote for us and ensure that we come out victorious at the end of the day. The youth aspect you mentioned is quite key in any developing democracy, but it has to be proper coordination, to harness them, so that in the final analysis, they will help to lubricate the process of electoral campaigns, electoral representation, and participation. Because democracy preaches inclusive participation, and once it is inclusive, it becomes participatory. But when you exclude, that's where you have some level of crisis. But even like today, we signed a peace pact with our youths, and we also signed a pact with them that when we come into office, this is what we want to do. hold us accountable to this. This is our mandate. This is our covenant.
Yeah, because in previous years, youths were perceived to be used as cannon fodder during the elections. Let me ask you, posturing will end tomorrow. The platform is now for the voters to use their thumbs, middle finger, index finger, and all that to show. Now, are you confident you have converted the pre-election dance to votes?
Yes, I am very confident, and I'm sure the entire APC machinery is confident, because we have covered all the 35 states. Tomorrow we'll go to the 36th state, that is Katsina, from where the president will also go to Dara and vote on Saturday. And then while we were doing that, the vice president has been going around doing personal engagement, while the APC Women and Youth arm have gone around the country too. So we've covered our bases, and we are very confident that we will not only win this election, we will win with a landslide victory. So we are very, very confident there's nothing to be afraid of.
All right, Prince, before I let you go, of course, I want to say a few words. Let's finally, very quickly, are you satisfied with the preparations for these general elections from the perspective of the umpire?
Well, we have raised our concerns. We have continued to also raise concerns. Those concerns, some of them have been addressed. So there's still room for improvement. We are still talking that raising alarm by the way and manner that what do you call them now? Coalition officers of ruling parties are being, networked into the system by way of ad hoc stuff.
That's an allegation.
Well, it's an allegation, but Scum, we are political players, and when we ask for a level playing field, we expect to see it, because when you see a level playing field by the umpire, the outcome of elections will just be accepted by those who participate in the process.
All right, Mr. Ayo, very quickly, let me look at the things that we've seen in the past few days. PVC centers being bombed. Why are we resorting to assassin this few days to election?
Like my friend here said, we are very good friends. We've spread on so many programs, so we have become friends whether we like it or not. You see, when you raise so many concerns, it's a fear of sign of fear. So they are afraid, so they make all these allegations, and even they cry wolf when there is none. So we understand that. We will still take you in. You are my friend. Maybe you will come out to the APC when we have
let me ask.
And then in terms of the arson, I think the security agency needs to do better in not just preempting these attacks, but being able to catch the culprits, because we believe that these things are done. I mean, somebody on Twitter yesterday was coming out to say, look, because the one that happened in Jos, most of the cards were for Muslims. That is why they had to do this, because they don't want them to vote for.
That's an allegation.
It's an allegation, yes, but that is why I said the security agency need to do their job. Such a person should be caught, so that he can help them in their investigation.
I don't have too much time on the show. I would have loved to take so many issues, but I need to symbolically ask you to do a few things before we end the show. But very shortly, I will do that. But my producer is saying that we still have a chance for one more question before we let you go. Final word on the elections, because of course we are closing shop tomorrow, to your supporters, very short, and then I'll take on.
Well, let me just quickly remind Ayo that I left the APC on a platter of gold, because if I wanted to remain in APC, I had every opportunity to remain there. I left on my own volition, even when I had opportunities to be appointed to one position or the other. But I'm not driven by position, so I don't need APC. What I'm after is about a country that is properly governed, a country that is properly run, where the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians are met, at least to a reasonable percentage. We are telling our voters that Saturday is a day of referendum for them to come out en masse and vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate. It's a referendum against hunger, against poverty, against malnutrition, against deprivation, against insecurity. And this is the opportunity they have to speak using the ballot box.
Sell your candidate.
Well, I would just tell Nigerians to remember the time when they promised them for 16 years, they messed up the country. No rail, no road, no water. Agriculture was moribund. Now we have been able to cut down the import bill on agriculture, especially on rice, for about 90%. We are creating jobs. About 11 million farmers, rice farmers, have been built. We are feeding children in schools. We are bridging roads and rails. We are building the future for Nigerians. So Nigerians should look at people who cannot finish even their own building, their own national headquarters. They stole the money that was supposed to be. I mean, 21 billion was raised. The place is still standing there. So Nigerians should look at that. People who can finish their own headquarters, they can't finish the job of Nigeria. But we have Mr. Integrity, Mr. Infrastructure. Vote for APC, vote for continuity. Let's go to the next level together.
As the umpire, let me use this opportunity to say you should emulate your principles and give us a handshake of peace. Handshake of peace on the ballot.
I didn't know that Ayo was the accountant and cashier of PDP.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. That has been the ballot for today. Thank you very much. On that peaceful note, we've come to the end of the program today. There is one more episode of the ballot before the presidential election, and that comes up tomorrow at 10:05, not 10:30, at 10:05. It is now officially 3 days to the polls. It will be 2 days in the next hour. As you celebrate Valentine tomorrow, remember that Nigeria is your first love. So show her your love on Saturday by coming out to vote. Fisai Ogunfu is the name. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Good night.